We gotta take the sidebar down. How you doing today, sir?
Good, top notch. How are you today?
We're doing great. We're discussing which wrestlers are aliens.
Okay.
We have decided Tony Khan. I think Tony Khan's a robot. Vanessa
Okay,
thinks
so
he's an
I've been
alien.
having this debate with people. With Tony Khan, he strikes me as a real Zuckerberg type, which I
Oh, there you
can't
go.
tell if there's like an alien robot thing going on or if it's just a real heavy drug addiction, the type of thing they don't sell on the streets that I live. Right?
Yeah, I get that. I get that vibe.
They both
Maybe
got those zonked eyes. I can't tell.
like he's just gonna peel something off.
I could see that for sure. How do you define alien? What do you mean by that?
I'm thinking of like oh man, I'm gonna date myself here. I'm thinking like the 1980s TV miniseries V, where they're like in human skin, but they peel off their skin, and you'd have to see it, I guess, to understand what I'm talking about. They eat mice and stuff.
All right, but they're from another
They're
planet,
from
correct?
another planet. Yeah.
Okay, just because like if I spotted a wrestler who was guaranteed to be a lizard person, but he came from the center of the earth, not from outer space, do you give me a point for that?
Yes.
Okay.
You definitely get a
Uh,
point.
here, lizard person, I can do it. The name that keeps coming up to me is Test. The idea of Test being a lizard person,
That's a
I
good one.
see it.
That's a good one. Would Albert, his tag team partner,
No, I
no,
think he was just a big dumb guy.
he's just,
Just never noticed that his partner was actually a reptile.
what about the TNA test? Oh God, what was Christian's partner's name? Oh gosh,
Tomko,
huh?
Tomko.
Yeah, Tomko. Yeah.
Tomko, I could see being an alien. That
Yeah.
I could see, like, something from outer space. What's cool in America right now? Tyson Tomko. He was in a walking
Mm.
affliction T-shirt.
Some people are saying in the chat that Tony Khan's a robot. I guess I could see that. I guess.
He's very calm for a cocaine addict, but also he's got really braced eyes that are very intense. I guess I shouldn't say stuff like that, eh?
Allegedly,
Like,
he's a cocaine addict.
Allegedly, allegedly,
Allegedly.
allegedly, allegedly.
yeah, no, there's no proof of that. I'm not saying he is. I think a lot of successful people do go into cocaine. So, I mean, I'm not even telling them that it's a bad thing necessarily. I don't dabble with the stuff. The money that I have, it would all be cut with something terrible. But I'm sure if you have the money for something pure, then it's probably pretty pleasant.
Does seem kind of calm for allegedly having a. But you're not here today. First of all, how? Okay, we discussed also at the start of this show. The fires in Canada. We have learned that Canada is really big,
Mm-hmm.
and that
Enormous.
they're nowhere near Vanessa. Uh, so are you afflicted by what's happening right now?
So the town is smoky,
Okay.
but I don't think that we're anywhere near the fire. I don't understand it if I'm being honest with you either. But it does definitely. There's a haze to the town. There's definitely a smell. Yeah, it's got to be just wind patterns or something like that.
It must be.
I am not smart enough to explain it to you, but it's definitely not hot where I am.
I'm not smart enough either, but I know that it's a lot different where I am, and I'm in upstate New York. Well, I'm in like Albany, New York.
I think you're probably closer to it than I am.
Yeah, and like New York City is hit real bad with it, so it must be that wind pattern. You guys must be up there with some fans blowing it south,
If we could, we absolutely would.
just blow it right out of there.
That's what we did with Bieber.
Bieber, the greatest musician to come out of Canada.
He's still retired.
I don't know.
Because I feel like Nickelback's getting a pretty serious resurgence. You know, people crapped on them for a decade and a half, but they're getting some love now all of a sudden, and it's kind of exciting and exhilarating to see. And I think if Justin Bieber had hung in just like a little bit longer, he might have got that touch of respect. He might have actually been cool, but he didn't. He retired. Life goes on. R.I.P.
It's coming full circle there. Listening to him.
You don't think they do?
I don't prefer them, but I think it's coming around. I think people are.
I'm not saying I prefer them. I just think in like 2002, everyone had that CD. And then for the next 20 years, everyone pretended like, oh, no, Nickelback sucks. And now there's starting to be some admittance to the public that like, yeah, Nickelback has had one goddamn classic after another. So it's exciting to see the public picking it up.
If I never hear Nickelback again, it will be too soon.
Come on, overrated, outdated. If you heard even like I don't know how you remind me at this point, I think it would crush in a bar. You'd never see it coming.
Who's better?
I have a buddy who
Chad Kroger
mixed what's that song? Rockstar to like my hometown. And he like did all the lyrics to like be for where I'm from. I can jam to that song, like the remix version, but I can't do the real one.
Very catchy. Speaking about Justin Bieber, I did just ask my artificial intelligence if Justin Bieber was retired, and it told me as of September of 2021, he has not officially announced his retirement.
He did. He absolutely came out and said he was retired.
Well,
he got facial paralysis. Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
The AI only goes up to 2020.
I feel like that was before 2021. Whatever. What do you go to ChatGPT or do you just go off of Snapchat?
I went to ChatGPT.
All right, he's OG. He's ChatGPT. The kids on Snapchat make me real nervous. Like something sketchy's going on over there. What do you like talking to your ChatGPT about?
I just like having a nice conversation. I ask it what it ate for dinner tonight. Let's see what it ate for dinner. How was dinner tonight? How was dinner tonight? Just have normal conversations. It's easier to talk to this than people.
I always try to go after its morals, but I'm not sure what I'm trying to win. You know what I mean?
Trying to get.
I don't know what game I'm really playing there.
I need it to be more up to date. Like I would like to know who in wrestling is an alien. And see.
Oh man, it'll never tell you the good stuff like that. It really should, and those are obvious answers. But it won't give it to you. Yeah, for sure.
That's what it said.
I mean, he's a lizard person, but still, I think it's worth noting. You know, put that on the bio.
Put it on the Wikipedia.
Yeah, there's worth a mention, but these mainstream chat GPTs, they won't talk about alien wrestlers these days. You know how it is, Biden.
We did lose a legend in wrestling today.
Yeah, R.I.P. Pelosi.
None other than the Iron Sheik himself. Had you had any run-ins with Cheeky Baby? Did he make it up to Canada? Is he allowed to go to Canada?
I saw him at a comedy show
when
I was a child, but I did not ever encounter him in the wrestling ring, and thank God I didn't. I'm more aware of the Iron Sheik from the Kenny vs. Spenny episode probably than anything else. So he did spend some time in Canada, but he was a violent man. But yeah, I saw him in the audience of a Joe Rogan show in 2012, something like that, in Toronto.
It's insane. Kenny vs. Spenny.
Small world, am I right?
It is.
He genuinely tried to stick that bottle up Spenny's tuchus. I talked to both Kenny and Spenny about it, and they were both saying, like, yeah, that guy was smoking crack out back. I'm not trying to talk ill of the dead, right? But these are real stories. Yeah. You know, he's a real guy. I also spent some time working with the Megan boys, who were close personal family friends and kind of ran the Twitter account of the Sheik. Yeah. So, you know, this is a rough day for wrestling. I believe Sheik might have even been Canadian to some degree, if I'm being correct about that. I don't know. Everyone's really Canadian.
I was just going to say.
Rocky Johnson's Canadian.
Did you just say the Honky Tonk Man's Canadian?
Oh, yeah. Totally unknown. No, I said Rocky Johnson, which makes The Rock part Canadian.
We have discussed that before, right, Vanessa? The Rock's Canadian.
We have.
You never see it coming.
Also discussed that he's not in the bloodline.
I was just going to. Not in the blood. But that's, I mean, this is all great stuff.
I hear he's also not natural.
Like Liver King?
Allegedly.
Asterisk. Don't sue me.
Speaking of Joe Rogan, I heard Ryback wants to go on to the Joe Rogan show and do something.
You know what? It's funny. I actually saw that tweet. I don't follow Ryback, but somehow I came across that. It was real thirsty to try to get on Rogan. But you know what? I was curious as to what Ryback pulled out of his body. Like with cupping, I've had cupping done. You don't pull stuff out. So like, did it excrete through the skin? Did he make an incision and pull it out? These are great questions. And you know what? If Ryback is willing to talk about what he got sucked out of a scapula, honest to God, I would actually listen to that. I would be very curious, because if he's doing like a detox kind of thing, I'm in. And if it's just like from working out, I've had shoulder pains my whole life. So I'm interested to know what he can pull out of it. But it did really just come across like he was selling snake oil to try to get him the Joe Rogan experience.
Wouldn't be shocked if he got on.
Are you a big Ryback guy?
I don't care for him either.
You wish they fed him more?
I don't care for him either way. To tell you the truth,
I think they fed him enough.
I think he's eaten enough.
Yeah.
It's time to stop. Burp Ryback.
I don't know. I was watching back in the day when he was going after CM Punk's title reign. There was a lot of talk that he should have won the title, but honestly, I don't know. He's kind of boring. Whatever.
That would have been a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, we're 10 years later. Would I care one way or the other? Like, probably not. It might not have mattered, but at all. But like, I don't care. I don't like the guy. I don't know. It didn't seem like a big deal or a draw to me. What the hell do I know?
Who knows? What do I know?
That Miller Lite.
This Miller Lite. In the chat, people are saying Rhino is better than Ryback. That is a fact.
I totally agree.
That is definitely a fact.
Rhino's the man. I wish he won. He was going to be like the mayor of Detroit or something like that.
Yeah.
He was wearing a bow tie. He lives on a houseboat. Rhino's cool to me.
Rhino is not an alien.
That all screams alien, but I'm in.
Do you prefer Rhino spelled with a Y or an I?
Probably the Y. Probably the Y.
Makes sense. I'm thinking the Y looks cooler.
Yeah, I think it looks cooler as the design, and that's really what I know him from. Yeah, I knew him before he was Spiderweb and returning, and even that was like 20 years ago. It's crazy what we consider retro, you know, how long Rhino's been doing that for a long time, man, just cutting guys in half.
I had a link up that I wanted to talk about, and then I lost. I accidentally clicked it when I clicked Chat GPT. You're not only here to talk about aliens and Joe Rogan, but you got Dropkicks for Devin coming up.
Dropkicks for Devin, maybe. This
Saturday. You're always standing behind a phenomenal cause, Ricky. Always.
Thank you. I do appreciate that.
And it goes a lot to show like the great human being you are. So why don't you let us in what Dropkicks for Devin's all about, what we got going on?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm the publicity wing of another show. I was here last time doing the similar thing, and the reality is that it takes something like this. It takes a good cause to get me motivated enough to put all the work in, making all the rounds and talking to all the people, because it is tremendously overwhelming. But here we are, 7 weeks into the project, so we're going fast and furious. So, Dropkicks for Devin. We had a family friend, brother's buddy, and a big wrestling fan. He had an accident with a motor vehicle in January of this year, and it left him in a pretty bad way. So he's been recovering from that accident, unable to work. And we're putting on a little wrestling show to try to get a little bit of money raised so that we can cover his bills in the meantime and make sure that everything's copacetic at his household. So Devin Ryan's the guy. He's a great guy, and we're very happy to be doing this for him. So we got all of Brantford informed at this point. Everybody's in on it, and we got a whole ton of people coming on down to the Boys and Girls Club, 2 Edge Street here in Brantford, to come see a steel cage match and a whole big old wrestling show just for Devin's sake, as I put on the Brantford Heavyweight Championship on the line there.
That thing.
Come on now, to try to sell some tickets, because I'll do anything I can to try and help Devin here. And if that means a steel cage match for the Brantford Heavyweight Championship, then so be it. I will do it, and I've done it.
Putting your body on the line versus John Greed.
John Greed, big old John Greed. He's 300 pounds. He's all over the place. He's a tremendously athletic man, and he's enormous. He's booked all over the place because he's a hell of a talent, and he's been chosen to come on into Brantford and try and beat the hell out of me inside of a steel cage in front of my friends and family. So, hell of an honor for John Greed, and I will do my best to put a stake through his heart.
Vanessa, one of your favorite Canadian talents is on the card too, Casey Spinelli.
Come on.
I do love me some Casey Spinelli.
We got Casey Spinelli. She's going to be in action. We're very happy to have her back in Brantford, and she's going to be taking on CC Galvez. And we do love this action that's going to be taking place here. Casey Spinelli has been on AEW, Impact, and WWE within the last 365 days. She's crushing it. She's crushing the game.
A fatal four-way here between this must be sponsored by Manscaped, because these guys are about as smooth as a baby's bottom.
These are some well-groomed gentlemen.
They are
right
some
there.
well-groomed gentlemen for sure. Oh boy, Devin Parkside, Johnny DeLuca going up against Dale Kilborn in Clash Aid.
We got 4 young guys looking to make a name for themselves. They got a hell of a platform here, and this is their opportunity genuinely to steal the show. You know, here's 4 guys who really are just on that cusp of breaking through on the Ontario scene and being more of a regular, and now all of a sudden they're showcased in front of 300 people and some television cameras. Hey, make a name for yourself, kids. Here is the moment, and good God, you notice how tall Dale Kilburn's hair is? You got to be proud of a kid willing to put that kind of commitment into his hair game.
But what
his cardio game is off the hook.
Oh, yeah?
Cardio game for sure. He's got a loud mouth. He's a hard worker. He's a good kid.
But who seems to be my favorite wrestler here is, looks like I ordered one of the WCW skyscrapers off a Wish here, Bradford Montague.
Bradford Montague, the
blood.
mullet of the PEI Islands. The big man is coming in. He's going up against Stratosphere. This is a first-time ever contest. We got 2 young bucks looking to brawl each other in Brantford. We are very excited for this one.
As we mentioned earlier, Canada is ginormous.
Enormous.
Vanessa, how far is this show from where you are?
I think it's like 3 hours.
Something like that, yeah, maybe a little more. And it's a 2-day drive from PEI, and Bradford's coming in. So we got global talent on this show.
Spectacular. Now, for someone like me, who I probably not only am not allowed into Canada, but probably can't make that drive on this Saturday, will I be able to watch it anywhere after the fact?
After the fact, I can't guarantee. I will be giving the footage to the family, and if it makes its way onto the internet, we will have that discussion with the family. Honestly, afterwards, we will not be airing it live, just because it's a spectacle got to be seen inside of the venue. However, we just penned a deal with Rogers TV here in Brantford, so they will be filming that. So we will have HD footage of it, but where that footage is going is still anyone's guess until after the actual event.
Oh yeah, here it is, Brantford Wrestling. Follow them on Twitter.
BTFD Wrestling. Come on, baby boy. Brantford Wrestling. And we're happy to have you.
It's gonna look like a phenomenal show. And have you been in many cage matches?
This is my first ever cage match.
Oh shit!
John Greed is undefeated in cage matches. This is my first ever cage match.
Let us in. Can you let us in? What's your plan of attack? Are you just gonna try to escape? Like go through the cage over the top?
Okay, so here's some of the controversy. We got 95 people who have decision-making abilities in Brantford Wrestling, apparently. So I still don't have a clear idea of whether or not this is pinfall, submission, or escaping the cage. So I don't quite know. My plan is to throw weapons into the cage beforehand, though. I think if I get some toys in there before I actually enter the cage, then anything can happen, and I want to bludgeon him as much as possible. If I can crack his skull open and drink the liquids inside, I think I'll have a real advantage in terms of escaping. That is my goal.
I prefer cage matches where you either escape the cage, that's it. No pinfall, no submission. Those are the ones I prefer.
See, I don't like that. You ever see Bret Hart and Owen Hart from SummerSlam? I think that cage match is entirely overrated. I don't think it's that good.
Interesting.
Personally,
I'd have to go back. I'd have to give it a second look.
Or and I know Hell in a Cell is not a cage match, but the idea of Shawn and Taker inside a Hell in a Cell, it's poetry. It's beautiful, and they're just 2 men beating the shit out of each other.
I agree with that. Hell in a Cell makes sense to me. Cage match.
You want me to get a Hell in a Cell in Brantford? I'm doing my best here, all right? I called Vince. He didn't return my phone call. I don't know what to tell you.
He's busy.
Can I borrow the Elimination Chamber?
Excuse me, Vince.
Is this Shane? Yeah, I need to rent the Punjabi prison for the evening.
What? You can have it. It's yours. Pinfalls only. They're telling me in the chat. Pinfalls only. Lock the cage. Pinfalls only.
Okay, but like I smash his ankle with a hammer, and then I slap on an ankle lock, grapevine it. I got a 300-pound guy, dead center of the ring, torn up ankle. I'm just rotating it upon itself, and he's just screaming and tapping out. You're telling me I then have to pin him?
Yeah, but that's what the chat is saying.
That's just stupid, though. I feel like the match has been won. I won the thing. He's crying like a girl. I got him. I win.
They're also telling me
that be first cry match?
first tears.
If I start crying, yeah, I think that's a pretty good reason for me to lose.
First tears match. That's actually not a bad gimmick.
You know what? That's not true. I do actually cry in a lot of matches. I do beg for my mom, but that is generally a distraction tactic so that I can hit the guy on the groin. So
that's fact. I've seen.
Thank you. So yeah, maybe that's not the best example to use.
They're also telling me you should have called Triple H because he's in charge.
Oh yeah, sorry. That was the problem. That I keep calling Vince, and I needed Paul Levesque's number.
You called the wrong guy.
That would have had me a lion's den.
Let's be serious. Stephanie runs.
Let's be serious. Is the group chat popping at any of these cage references that I'm making? Because we're getting some deep cuts here, and I feel like I got no love on them.
We got lock the door, escape the cage. No one's popping for your deep cuts.
Bullshit. All right, go back and watch your SummerSlam. Lions Den's a fucking awesome match. Whatever, you guys. I'm giving gold here.
Oh yeah. Well, wait. The Lions Den.
That's a cage.
Was it in the cage or was it in? Why am I thinking it was in the
Octagon?
Octagon?
Madison Square Garden Theater.
Why when I hear that do I think Ken Shamrock and Owen Hart in an octagon?
Yeah. It was a raised octagon. It was its own cage. But I liked those matches when I was a kid.
Yeah. Ken Shamrock, very underrated wrestler.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I went to a show when I was a kid. There was a triple threat: Mankind, The Rock, and Ken Shamrock inside of a steel cage. I don't remember it at all, but I was in the room when it happened. But Jesus, you want to talk about an underrated gem from the Attitude Era? Just there's 3 stars inside of a steel cage match. And when do you ever get a triple threat steel cage match? That happened in Hamilton. Ugh.
I can't even remember. I don't even think we get as many cage matches as we should these days.
I agree.
I think we should get some more. We're gonna get one this Saturday.
Come on, baby.
Freddie Ricky
bringing it to life.
And the alien John Creed himself.
Big old lizard man, John Creed.
I keep saying Creed because I keep seeing friggin' Creed 3.
Different guy. They look very similar.
Yeah, I was probably the same word.
But a Creed is good chance from the audience. It's good.
What else you got going
Yeah,
on?
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be good. You'll raise a lot of money.
I'm hoping I don't get like disfigured in front of my family. That would be really embarrassing.
I think it'll be fine. Hope you'll be fine.
I hope so.
Yeah. So that's this weekend. It's great stuff.
Yeah.
Will the confetti gun make an appearance?
I have been trying to store different weapons and implementations around the venue because it is quite close to my house. So that's something I can't usually do. I usually have to bring it in a bag, but I've actually been trying to hide different propellants around the venue already. So it's it's home field advantage.
I was gonna say
I feel like any weapon I have, I'm gonna be using.
You have an advantage.
Yeah, it's definite home field advantage. The only issue being that for all the people who will be there to help me, they are on the other side of the cage. So I'm very excited to see how that's going to play out. But definitely, I got all my weapons and gimmicks ready to go this Saturday. It's going to take everything I got.
I was scrolling through your Twitter today because I was looking for a new picture, new graphic, and I noticed. Far down did I go? I noticed I saw these animated cartoon pictures of you and Puff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good photo.
Yeah, it is. Is there any truth to you guys getting a show on Adult Swim?
And we have been working on it. We've been talking to the guy who put on Sons of Butcher, and we're trying to get something linked up, but it is a nightmare. Plus, with Puff being from the other side of the border, contracts are a nightmare. But yeah, we are trying to get that going. That would be so much fun, would it not? Would it not be so much fun? Just for the record, me and Puff are the tag team champions of Barrie, but also we're going for the tag team championship of C4 Wrestling. That's in Ottawa. That's the big one, and that'll be later this month in June. So we got some big old things on the horizon.
I think the last time we talked to you, you and Puff were either maybe wrestling your last match together. I think the last time we talked to you, I think that was the case.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, I could
won
see
that
this.
match. Obviously.
Domination. I could see this animated, like a little animated short too. A little wrestling short of your matches. Puff. Just you in general.
We've been pitching it. Just us going to restaurants, us going shopping. I think there's some real gold to be had there.
Sure. So yeah, so you got the Dropkicks for Devin this weekend. You just talked about later in June, the C4 Tag Team Championships. Are Barrie as well? You're going to defend coming up or no?
Barrie, we're on for Canada Day. I think is the next time that we're going to be wrestling. So that'll be Canada Day and Barrie right after wrestling for C4 for the Tag Team Championships. It's just one thing after another. Hard hitting, big summer.
Spectacular. Well, Pretty Ricky, I'll tell you what. I love to talk aliens all day with you. But I'm going to give you the mic now. You can put this show over some more. Let us know where it is. I'm going to try to push this out as quickly as I can to all the social medias. So if anybody up there in Canada is hearing this, they can just go and watch a phenomenal cage match with several other amazing matches as well. But the time is yours. You can put over anything you want. You can say anything you want. I'm not going to interrupt, sir.
Well, I do greatly appreciate it. Thank you for your time and for your platform. It does mean a lot to me and my family. So this Saturday in Brantford, that's at the Boys and Girls Club, 2 Edge Street of Brantford. We have ourselves the first ever event from Brantford Wrestling. That is Dropkicks for Devin, as all proceeds will go to Devin Ryan's recovery. So we got Bradford Montague taking on Stratosphere. Bradford Montague coming all the way from PEI, and this is the first time these two have ever wrestled each other. And then we have Casey Spinelli. She's been on AEW, Impact, Raw, SmackDown, all within the last year, taking on CC Galvez as well. We have a 4-way scramble match of 4 young people trying to make a name for themselves. We got Johnny DeLuca, we got Clash Kincaid, we got ourselves Devin Parkside, and we got Dale Kilburn. Dale Kilburn, former IBL baseball player and from the military. Johnny DeLuca been wrestling since he was 15, taking it to the next level. He was on SmackDown recently, earlier this year. Then we have Peru versus Matt Black. Peru has been all over Canada, including Dungeon Wrestling being run by Bret Hart, and he's taking on Matt Black, who was recently a graduate from the Nightmare Factory with Cody Rhodes. He also wrestled and won the Loot Academy tournament with Jacques Rougeau. He was on the first ever he was the first ever match that AEW recorded on Canadian soil. That's Matt Black, and he will be taking on Carew. And then in your main event, the Brantford heavyweight champion, Pretty Ricky Wilde, will be defending his championship inside of a steel cage match against John Greed. We got 300 tickets sold. We got 100,000 people coming. We got Rogers TV. We got the mayor. It's going to be one hell of a night, and all of Brantford is going to be watching. So I thank you very much for your time, for your appreciation, and for your audience-ship. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you for your time. We'll talk to you soon. I hope it goes great this weekend. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Peace. Have a good night.
You as well.